My name is Jeffrey Pang. I'm from Section A, and at the same time from Council for the Damansara. We have been here for the 4th time now for the budget meeting, and we were trying to work on the structural changes. And we are not speaking about individual areas, but the betterment of the whole of Petaling Jaya. That's why I'm very grateful that we are given an opportunity to have the figures on Thursday evening. Your office sent it to us and kept us very busy for the whole of the weekend. We didn't sleep at all. Alright? And we got a very short presentation for you, and we'd like to address it in a very quick manner so that you can get the feedback. Our purpose is that we want to partner with MBPJ so that we can get a good livable city. We have made our coalition of good governance and NGOs. There's 4 of us, and resident association over 10, and some of the MBPJ ex-councillors are with us as well on this. Next one. Yes. We are looking at Petaling Jaya, not just as infrastructure, but we're looking at people, transportation, and inclusiveness as well. That is our first meeting, and followed by the second meeting. Okay, next one. Okay, we are actually also working on the budgeting, but we found that even in Penang, they have actually done something like that as well. They have got a duit kita, hak kita. In other words, it is actually our money, our right, so we want to be part of this whole budgeting process. And Penang has shown a way forward. They actually have a participatory budgeting actually implemented on pilot project. Next one. Of course, on budgeting, we will follow the government regulations that cover budgeting and also accounts. Next one. Okay, this is the purpose of MBPJ. The budget is actually to meningkatkan pembangunan dan kesejahteraan para penduduknya ke arah masyarakat bermoral, berilmu, berbudaya, prihatin, penyayang, dan progresif. Although we talk a lot about figures, at the end of the day, we want to see a caring community that's built up with principles as well. Next one. And of course, we've got LA21, MBPJ is a pilot site, and it's supposed to get all the people together, government, business, and community, so that we get sustainable community. Next one. But we also have to remember that 2016 is the beginning of the Sustainable Development Goals. So the next 15 years, we have to focus on this. And the priorities are all given over here as well. No poverty, no hunger, and all these things are the priority that we have to align to. Next one. This is 2016 to 2020. And right now, what we want to say is, we would like to have measuring of impacts and not activities. We are worried that most of our things are measured by activities, but in the end, there's no impact. So if you want to work on the markets, at the end of the day, we want to see a clean market. The impact is there. Next one. So we thank you for giving us the budget figures ahead. Next one. We are going to do 2 things about budget creation, which is right now what we are doing. We would like to see participatory budgeting here. And the other thing that's important is budget monitoring. Let's go to budget creation first. In budget creation, we have got to get all the data so that we know how things have been before. But if you look at the MBPJ website, we found a lot of accounts missing. The broken links are 2, 4, and then non-available accounts are also down there. So it is actually quite difficult for us to know what is the past record of MBPJ. Next one. The other thing is we have this PJ yearbook, and it goes into quite more details so that you talk not only about quantitative figures but also qualitative figures. But it stopped in 2011. So it has not been done anymore. So we do not see the qualitative side of the budget that you have spent. Next one. And this is something that's a bit worrying. The cash balances in MBPJ is growing so much. It is holding nearly on liquid assets nearly 500 million right now. Alright, although some of them are not offset in other things, but you can see that the spending has not been spending. That's before you came in. We have got 1 year that the development budget was so lowly spent. No? So the reason why we want a deficit budget now, this is actually money not spent in the previous year, having to be spent now. So for a local council, it is very important that we spend the money that we collect for the year itself, not to save up too much of reserves. Next one. So the draft budget figures are all there, and previously you give us actual budget for 2015 and 2016, but now we don't have any actual figures at all. So when you give us the budget figures and you compare 2016 and 2017, it is quite meaningless because we do not know actually how much has been spent in actual. Alright, next one. So we like to use the words right list, wish list, because the thing is we have been wishing it for the last 4 years, but this time we really want it to be serious. We need a budget team. We need a budget calendar. We got to know about this meeting on Thursday afternoon. So, and the councillors also did not get their budget figures early as well. I don't see how the councillors can actually contribute by not studying the figures. So the other thing is participatory budgeting is important to us. We want it to be a systematic way of doing it. We need to see all councillors with the minutes of their meeting being held with MPP and that they contacted everyone. Not just casually contacting each people and then you get the kind of budget. We want to see a zero-based budgeting. In other words, when you say a figure, you know what the figure is made up of. That's very important. Then the other thing is, before we can even finish the budget, KPIs must be in there. Without KPI, we are just measuring how fast we spend the money, and the impact will not be there. So Gotong Royong is not about how many people turn up, how much money we spend, how many came and have a good makan, but whether sustainably after the Gotong Royong things have changed. That means a different way of implementing things. The other thing is we like it to be a people-centric policy because for too long we have been focusing on infrastructure. But the infrastructure is really to help people to have a good life. So people should be the end of things and not infrastructure. So we like people-centric policy. Next one, budget team. Click please. We would suggest every year we should have a budget team because budgets are made up from a team. And I suggest a caring and inclusive city because this is a year that's going to be very hard for the people in PJ. There's going to be economic hardship and especially for poor people. And we are also talking on behalf of the poor because they are not represented here. They can't take leave. Alright, next one. The budget team, next one. The budget calendar, most local councils give a budget calendar. I'll show you an example of budget calendar over here. Can I click please? Detail. Exactly when the consultation is, when the review is. Without a budget calendar, we are caught by surprise and we cannot comment on figures. So this is one of those that's overseas. Next one. So the right list is we hope for in the preparation of budget, the budget team, the calendar, and all these things are given to us. That is the preparation of our budget. Next, please. Okay, I'll go very quickly. The hasil one, we don't have to look at it. We're getting a lot of money. Money is not the problem here. And 2017 is 395 million. Next one. This is the breakdown, the spendings. Next one. Okay, over here is the development budget. And many of the figures that are given up there, we have got no idea. Some of them are 200% extra, some of them are 300,000-400,000% more. So all these agreement, if there is no basis, it's very hard for us. So all these figures that I've given you over there are questions that we ask. In other words, we can't understand why the budget should be that kind of amount, and all the basis. We hope that you can have a look at that. Next one. Yes, go back please. The figure in red. The figures that you gave us is highlights of the perbelanjaan pembangunan. At the end, there's an unaccounted amount of nearly 40 million. So that is not told to us. What is it for? So I think that should be made clear as well. Next one. And we continue with a lot of questions over there. In other words, the budget really have got no backup material. So we cannot really agree to a budget, and after that, there is no definite titles or breakdown of what you're going to spend on. So it's up to the head of the department to decide what they want to spend. Next one. This is the profit and loss account and balance sheet for a few years that we can trace, and then you can see that there has been underspending. In fact, there's one year that has tremendous underspending on the development budget, and that is why the accumulation of reserves keep on building up. So for budget, the whole 500 million is quite a lot. Next one. Okay, we want to work closely with MBPJ, especially on the food bank. I know that there's a food bank going on. We need to know how much money we allocate for food bank and how it is going to be implemented. We need to know about poverty eradication. You have some budget there, but I don't think it's enough for that. But we need to sit down with you all to talk about how you're implementing poverty eradication, responsible city education, empowerment. MBPJ can provide a lot of opportunities for the poor people if you can employ them. Make sure your contractors employ local people and not immigrant workers. Next one. So what we are asking for, Datuk Banda, is an additional budget meeting before presenting to council for endorsement. Because there's a lot of questions there that we already asked, but I don't think we can get the answer today. Next one. We want to look at budget monitoring. Before that, click please. I want to highlight that last year was 1 year that we finally managed to get Taman Medan. As an example, by Khadija, after every evening of a meeting in the State Council, she went down to get all the details, and it was presented to you in the book there. But none of the application, the real things, found its way into the budget. And whole year, things have not been attended to based on what she has given. So what I'm saying is, after all the efforts put in Taman Medan, and yet we cannot find its way to the budget, what hope do we have of getting our wish list to be in the budget? So I think the process is something that we have to work on. Next one, budget monitoring. We have on our website the road divider short workmanship, and that is a real sore point. I know everything is all sorted out now, but we should know what actually happened, because that will point to structural problems in implementing some of the projects that we have. Next one. And over here, this is the worrying part. When we look at the budget figures for 2015, we have actual to August. So the budget for 2015, while we are doing 2016, you already know the actual figures. And the percentage spent is only about 40%. So if 40% is spent in August, then another 4 months, you're supposed to spend everything. So that would be really ad hoc. So the implementation part of it, we are very concerned about it. And Datuk Roswan, the previous mayor, have already approved budget monitoring committee. I seriously appeal to you, implement